Hey there everyone, and welcome to today's live training. I am so excited that you are here and I can't wait to hang out with you. If you're a first-time watcher, hello, I'm glad that you're joining me. And if you've been hanging out with me for the past few weeks as we've been doing this free live training series, well, welcome back. Come on in. So glad that you're here. If I haven't had the chance to meet you before, my name is Tyler J. McCall, and I help people grow their online business using Instagram. And today, during this live training, we are going to talk about my top tips for effortless content creation, even when you don't feel creative. Now, this is a topic that I am super passionate about because I see so often online business owners and entrepreneurs getting totally burnt out and frustrated and annoyed with creating content for their online business. And I want to help you today and give you some tips to make content creation more streamlined and more simple. So that's what we're going to be covering. In particular, I'm going to talk with you about my content planning system that makes social posting streamlined and simple. We're going to talk about where to look for inspiration for content when you're feeling stuck. We'll talk about how to make the most out of all this content you are probably already creating for other platforms and places online and how you can make the most out of it. And I'm going to be sharing my top secret repurposing strategy that is a game changer. So if you're ever feeling like you don't know what to post or you're feeling too burnt out to come up with new content, I'm going to be sharing this top secret strategy that I use on a regular basis that is a game changer, okay? But you're gonna have to stick around until the very end to learn that top secret strategy. So the first thing I wanna do is I wanna hear from you in the comments. If you've been with me live before, you know we do this. If this is your first time, welcome. This is not just a one-way conversation. I'm not just here barking at you for the next little bit, teaching you something about Instagram. My goal is to have a conversation with you. So the comments is where all of that goes down. So you got a comment below right now. Let me know where you're tuning in from today. Let me know what the world is like in your corner of the world. How's the weather? What's going on? Do you have your vaccine yet? Are you ready to get back out and about? If you're from Australia, don't tell us because we're all going to get jealous of you living your best life out there. But I'd love to hear from you in the comments and definitely see some familiar places back again. Fran, welcome back. So glad that you're here. I think, let's see, who else? Who else is coming back for a second or third or fourth time as we've been doing these live videos? Let me know in the comments. Also, one thing that we do during these live streams is that we have giveaways the whole time. So we're going to be doing gift card giveaways all afternoon. And the way that you win a gift card is by participating in the comments. So let me give you a quick little idea of how the rules work, and then we'll dive in. There's going to come times where I'm going to ask you to engage. If you're engaging in the comments and I see that you're engaging and hanging out, I'm going to shout out your name and I'm going to say, hey, so-and-so, you just won a gift card. And then all you're going to do is send us a direct message right here on this Facebook page, on the Tyler J. McCall Facebook page. Send us your email address in a direct message, and then we will get that gift card over to you. Now, we're going to be giving away some Target gift cards today, in addition to Starbucks and Amazon gift cards. So for our viewers outside of the United States where you don't have the joy of having a Target in your life, if I say you want a Target gift card, just let us know that in your direct message as well, and we'll send you something else. So the first thing I want to do is invite you to invite some friends to hang out with us, and that's how we're going to do our first giveaway. So go ahead right now, tag a friend, tag someone that could benefit from today's conversation. Maybe it's a biz bestie, maybe it's a client of yours. Just say, hey, at your name, come watch this video. Hey, at your name, come check out this live stream. Hey, at your name, I think this would be beneficial for you. And we're going to pick someone in just a minute to win our first gift card. We're going to give away a $5 Amazon gift card. So go ahead and do that in the comments. And we're going to go ahead and dive in. Today we're talking about how to make content creation and content planning more effortless and how to do it when you may not feel the most creative. I think we can all identify with that. Raise your hand if you've had those experiences before. I know I have, when you're like, oh my goodness, I need to post something. I haven't posted in a while. What am I going to post? I do not feel creative right now. I don't know what I want to do right now. So I'm going to talk about that today because I've totally been there before. So let's dive in and, well, actually, I want to do a giveaway first. So let's do this. Kelsey, we'd love to send you $5 to Amazon. So Kelsey, if you will send us a direct message right here on this Facebook page, Kelsey McGilvray, send us a direct message with your email address and we will send over a $5 Amazon gift card your way. Pretty simple. That's how our giveaways work. Okay, so let's dive in and get started with the first topic for today, which is my content theme system to make Instagram content creation that much easier. So the reason this is important is because we really need to find a way to streamline our content creation, because content creation overall is this big kind of scary amorphous thing, right? Like we have to do, oh my gosh, you know what? Stop. Tyler, stop. I got ahead of myself. I wanted to talk about something else first. I'm so sorry. I was scrolling through my notes too fast. So let me go back. Let me talk about why we're talking about this today, and then we're going to get into the content theme system. If that's okay with you. All right. Sorry, I got ahead of myself. So why we're talking about this is because, honestly, sometimes content creation sucks. And I think we just need to be okay with that. We just need to say it and be okay with it. I think sometimes a lot of creators or people that teach marketing or Instagram or strategy, we tiptoe around it, right? And we say things like, oh my gosh, content creation is so great. Make content creation fun again. You can create content with ease. But y'all, let's be honest. Sometimes creating content sucks. The last thing you want to do sometimes on the list of all the things you want to do when you're running your business, wrangling your kids, trying to take care of your home, trying to maybe for the love of God get a workout in today, right? Is to create content. So let's just start with that. Sometimes it sucks, but it doesn't have to, okay? So what I want to share with you today, the goal here is to make content creation less sucky and to make it more effortless by giving you some systems and some frameworks to use. Now, I'm not giving you hard and fast rules here. If you know anything about me, if you're a client of mine inside of Follower to Fan, if you've heard me teach before, you know I'm not a big fan of hard and fast rules. I'm not one of these finger wagger, you have to do this, you must do this in your business or in your marketing, because I don't think that's effective, okay? That's just my opinion, but I don't think it works well. So think of today's session as some guidelines, some frameworks, some concepts you can use in your business, okay? And the first thing we have to do is we have to get some content creation myths out of the way. So I thought of 3, but I would love to hear from you. What are some myths or beliefs that you have about content creation that you feel like right now they're just not serving you? They're not helpful. They may be keeping you stuck with not being able to create content, or they may have you stuck making crappy content that you don't really like. What are some of these content creation myths or ideas that you have? I was able to come up with 3, and I'd love to hear yours. Number 1, you may believe that you must be the most creative human being that's ever lived. Have you ever felt that before? Oh my gosh, well I don't have anything to say because I'm not the most creative person that's ever lived on the face of the planet, right? So we just don't do it. How much, oh my God, what a crock of BS that is, that you have to be the most creative person. Actually, some of the most prolific content creators out there are not that creative. And we're going to be talking today about how repeating yourself is the key to effective content creation. So you don't have to be the most creative person ever. The second myth, you must always create something new for it to be worthy of posting. I saw someone mentioned earlier, let's see, Brenna said you have to create new content every day. Yeah, Brenna, totally. Same idea. That it always has to be a brand new idea. You better not create and post anything online unless it's a brand new, like groundbreaking concept, right? It's just not true. It's not true. And again, trying to always create the next big new thing. It's like we're always trying to one-up ourselves. Do y'all feel me on that? You're always trying to be better than you were before. Always trying to create more content, create better content than you did before. It's just not true. And then the last myth that I came up with is you must only create good content. No flops allowed. Why are we acting like whenever we're creating content online, whether it's Instagram, doing live video, doing a podcast, writing a blog, that it's a no flop zone, that we can't create something and it not do well? I would actually encourage you to create more stuff that sucks, to create more content that may not do that well, to take some half-baked ideas and put them out there every now and then and see how it goes, because this allows us to workshop concepts and ideas and figure out what works well and what doesn't. You want to know one of these reasons I've been going live on Facebook for the past month, and I'm going to do it for another month? Not only is it part of our launch runway that we have going on right now, we're opening the doors to our Follower to Fan Academy course in just a few weeks, but it's also because this is the perfect incubator, the perfect environment for me to make a bunch of content and see what connects, see what resonates. I've had lives that I've done where the comments have been out of this world. So much engagement. We've had dozens of people here live. So many good conversations, incredible content. Then I've had lives that I've done even in the past few weeks where it's been like, totally not, no, Tyler, this is not the topic. This is not what people want to hear right now. People are not engaging. They're not interested. And the only way I would learn that as if I created content without expectation. I think that's another important component of content creation. Not always creating content thinking, this has to be it. Like, this is the content that's going to make it or break it for me, right? If we are always creating content from that perspective, we are putting so much pressure on ourselves to get it right all the time. And that pressure is just so... why do we do that to ourselves, right? We can talk about that another day. But I'd love to hear from you, okay? Talk to me in the comments. What are your experiences right now with content creation? What are some of those beliefs that you have? What are those thoughts that you've had before? I've heard from some of you already, so I want to read some of these that I really love. Let's see. Also, welcome Kelly live. So glad for those of you that are joining live. Maybe you tried to catch me live. This is your first time. Welcome. And like I said earlier, for all of our returners, Fran, I know you've been here before. I know there's some other folks that have been here before as well. Welcome back. So glad that you're here. So let's see. What are you feeling about content creation? What are those ideas? All of that. Joy says, creating good content is almost like life or death. Oh my goodness. Onisha says, I'm out of ideas. Ooh, okay, Onisha, then today is good for you because we're going to talk about where to get inspiration if you feel like you're out of ideas. Let's see. Oh, Fran says there's a myth that you have to keep your brand colors and fonts in every post. Fran, yeah, I totally agree. Look, I think there's something to a consistent aesthetic. I like to think of it like a consistent vibe on Instagram, but it doesn't always have to be perfectly branded. You don't have to slap your logo on everything. Tia says, my stuff isn't interesting or my editing isn't good enough, right? It's always, we're kind of thinking this, well, I need to be better. I need to be funnier. I need to be smarter. I need to be wittier with my content creation. Gwen says I have to do it 3 times a day. Oh my goodness, totally. That's definitely a common belief. And look, there is a place these days for creating more content because what we are seeing now on Instagram is for folks that, and I just recorded a podcast episode about this that's coming out in a few weeks. If you're not listening to the podcast, you should be. onlinebusinessshow.co. We have new episodes out every week. Right now, we are wrapping up our marketing success series for the Online Business Show podcast. Also, I don't know why my little stream. Okay, there we go. Decided to stop working for a minute. But I just recorded an episode about follower growth and the secrets no one wants you to know that's coming out soon. But one of the things that I talk about in that episode that's coming out, I think, a week after next, is there is a place for creating more content these days if you want to grow your following more rapidly. But there are trade-offs that you have to consider. And whether you want to post once a day, 3 times a week, or 3 times a day, doesn't matter. These are still tips and ideas that can help you, okay? So thank you all for chatting with me and letting me know how you're feeling about content right now. Yeah, Erica says, taking the bomb pic that goes with the bomb caption that is gold and connects on all the levels, right? We always have to get it right. It always has to be brand new. This is so good. Sarah says it either takes too long or where's my next idea going to come from? And do people care? Jonathan says perception of the perfect life or knowing it all seems to be a real challenge. Oh, Jonathan, that's good, right? Because we want to be the expert. We want to be the go-to person. So we have to have it all figured out, right? Before we talk about it. Definitely not true, though. Crystal says it's fun until it's not, then you run out of ideas. Comparison to other creators kill me. Crystal, that is such a good point. I've talked about this for so long and it's still so important, but putting those blinders on and not paying attention to what other creators in your exact same niche or space is doing is so, so important. So thanks for chatting with me, everyone. Crystal, I'd love to send some Starbucks love over your way. So Crystal Burgess, if you will send us a direct message here on this Facebook page, just send us your email address. We're going to send a $5 Starbucks gift card to you, and Starbucks will be on us. Okay. That's what I wanted to talk about first, and I forgot about it because I scrolled too quickly through my notes. So let's get on to the next piece of today's conversation. We're going to start with my content theme system, and the goal here is to streamline your content creation. Like I said earlier, it's simply to give you a framework or some guidelines or some, if you've ever been bowling before and you have the kiddie bumpers up on the bowling lane, think of this like the kiddie bumpers at a bowling alley, right? Just to kind of give you some guidelines. So when you're going down the what do you call that in bowling? My parents would be so disappointed in me because they're bowlers. But when you're like bowling it down the lane, I guess, this gives it something to kind of bounce off of, right? And stay in some guardrails. So My content theme system is simple. This isn't revolutionary, but I want to break it down for you and give you some context for how you can put it in place. And Allie, there it is. That's the word. Thank you all. This delay is so funny. So the content theming system is really simple. I want you to pick 3 to 5 core themes, core messages, core types of content for what you are posting on Instagram. Okay? I'm going to give you examples of this, and we're going to talk through it and kind of how to figure out what these themes are. The reason that content theming helps so much is because it gives you buckets that you can put content ideas into, and then it gives you buckets that you can pull content concepts out of. And I really think, stick with me here, let me know if you agree in the comments, I really do think that so much of why content creation feels so hard and why it sucks so much is because it is so big. Because it is so, like, what even is it? You know, like, it's so big. I love what Laura said in the comments. Laura says, honestly, just the word content feels so vague and overwhelming. So how do we even create content, whatever the heck that means these days, when the concept of content creation just feels so like, oh, what am I doing, right? And having some content themes makes this way more practical. It helps us understand if what we're creating is in line with our brand. It helps us understand if what we are doing is going to support our bigger business vision. And it helps us gain inspiration because instead of trying to figure out like any and every idea, we have some parameters for what we're doing. You know, I'll give you an example, and hopefully this resonates with you all, because if you're here, you know, I would imagine you're an entrepreneur, you're a small business owner like me, and typically us entrepreneurial folks, we're pretty damn creative, right? We can come up with new ideas. We love innovation. We always have something in the works, right? If you're like me, you know, I was working my full-time nonprofit job, and I always had a side hustle in the background. I was always doing something after work or at work between you and me. Like I was always working on something. I always have an idea. I always have a solution. Like Shark Tank is on our TV. When we don't know what to watch, Shark Tank is on the television, right? Because my husband and I love it. Like we love that entrepreneurial creativity innovation. And for me, for the longest time, when I was in my business, I always thought of systems and processes as hindrances to my ability to innovate. Do you identify with that? Drop the number 1 or your favorite emoji in the comments if you identify with that. If you've ever felt like, well, if I put systems or structures in place, it's going to limit my ability to create. That's how I felt for the longest time. So for a long time, I avoided systems in my business. I didn't want to work on systems. I didn't want to hire someone to help with systems. I didn't see the value in them. And it wasn't until I actually hired a for-hire project manager to help me with hiring. And she really helped me create more systems in my business and helped me see the beauty in systems. And what I learned, and yeah, y'all are my people, because I see lots of ones and lots of emojis in the comments right now that you identify with that. What I learned is that systems and a process and frameworks and kind of guides help me be more creative and more innovative because they simplify the creation of the mundane things. They make the doing of things that aren't that exciting more streamlined and more easy. So they then can take less time and less effort, and I can get back to creating and innovating. And I want you to think right now, let me know in the comments if this is true for you. You have a lot of really good ideas. You have so many incredible points of view. You have so many ideas for content. You have so much that you want to get into the world. You have a unique point of view that you want to share with other people. You have a business, you have a product, a service, a program, something that you want to get into people's hands because it will help them in some way. It'll help them be a better parent. It'll help them be a better business owner. It'll help them have a more beautiful home. It'll help them live a more fulfilled life. It'll help them be healthier. It'll help them achieve their goals, whatever it may be, right? So if you have that right now, would you not want to put some simple systems in place that can make it easier for you to fulfill on those ideas, right? Don't we want things in our life to be easier so that we can fulfill on these concepts, so we can help more people, so that we can get our message out there more? And for me, and this is all like reframing I had to do and just relearning I had to do about systems or processes in my business. And you may be on this journey too as you're starting and growing your business. But I had to learn that, well, the systems actually are an incredible gift, because it lets me streamline the stuff, make it easier, make it so I can do it faster and do it more easily, and I can do the stuff I really want to be doing, right? So content theming for your Instagram account is just a really easy way to create a system around what you're doing on Instagram. So let me give you some examples. These are 3 to 5, and I want you to, as I'm sharing this, I want you to think, I want you to maybe jot some down, and I'm going to ask you to share in the comments, okay, what your content themes are. You probably don't have them yet. If you're a member of Follower to Fan, we teach you this inside of Follower to Fan. In our new Follower to Fan Academy, our Instagram course that's launching on May 10th, we're going to teach you in detail how to do this. We're going to help you with your content themes. But I just want to do an exercise with us right here together to come up with these. So content themes are 3 to 5 topics for your Instagram account. And pretty much all the content you create is going to fit into one of these themes. Or you can think of them as buckets. That's how I like to think of them. I grew up watching Bozo the Clown. Y'all remember that terrifying children's TV show from the 80s and 90s? And there was always that game where you were like throwing had kids like throwing the ping pong ball into the bucket. I think whenever I say content themes, I think of like the buckets from Bozo the Clown. I don't know. I probably need to talk to my therapist about that. But the content themes answer these questions. All right. These are really the big questions you want to think about. Now, look, these questions aren't your content themes. Hear me say this. These questions that I'm going to ask are not your content themes, but they can help you create your content themes, okay? So think of these questions as you're thinking of your content themes. Number 1, what do you do? What do you do? Like, who do you help do what, right? We call this inside of Follower to Fan your one and only element. You may have heard it before as your USP, your unique selling proposition. But what do you do for who, right? So like for me, I help online business owners start, grow, and scale profitable businesses using Instagram. So what do you do and for who? How can you help someone? So what are your skills? What's your knowledge? What is your expertise, your experience that you can tap into to help someone? That you could tap into to help someone on Facebook, on Instagram, in your community, in your program, through your newsletter, on your podcast? How can you help someone? Question number 3, how can you connect with others? So what are those things about you personally, your personality, your hobbies, your interests that you feel comfortable and confident talking about online? That's not slimy or sleazy. That's not oversharing. Ooh, Lord, the oversharing people are doing on the internet. Wow. We're not oversharing. We're not giving people all the details. Some things are meant for private conversation, people. With your friends or your partner or your therapist, okay? Your Instagram followers are not your group therapy space, okay? So don't dump on them. But how can you connect with others? We call these shared experiences inside of Follower to Fan. Question number 4, why should someone trust you? Like, why? What are your credentials? What's the background? What are the results? What's the training? What's the work that you've been doing so people should trust you? You know, for a really long time, I didn't talk about like my credentials and my business because I felt like I shouldn't. But then, and I hopefully this is helpful for you, but then the more that I started kind of figuring out how I wanted to really like plant myself in my particular niche and how I wanted to stand out, I realized that my experience and my background and my credentials were incredibly important. Because as an Instagram marketer, there's a lot of other Instagram marketers out there. But what I learned is that, and we all are, we all help people in our own unique way. But what I really saw is my differentiator. So this may be another way to think about it. Why should someone trust you? Because of what you do differently or how you do it differently. For me, I learned my differentiating factor is that I came to being an Instagram marketing coach through being a nonprofit professional for nearly a decade, running nonprofits, working in nonprofits and operations, marketing, membership, all the things across the board. I was a political organizer, community organizer for LGBTQ causes in the rural South. I had all that experience. And then I started and ran a successful agency. I started and ran a successful coaching and consulting business. And then I launched the Follower to Fan Society back in 2017. And I really found that all of that kind of credentialed work, hey, this is what I did to get here, became invaluable because that differentiated me from other people. I wasn't someone that just got Instagram famous and then said, let me teach you how to be Instagram famous like me. Because, you want to know why? Because the thing that someone else did to become Instagram famous isn't going to work for you. Because whatever they did to become Instagram famous is through their own unique perspective, their own unique method, their own unique way of being in the world. And that, my friends, is not transferable. So for me, what differentiates me is that I have all this experience. I developed a system and a framework and a process through years of doing this work, and now I can help you, right? So that's just a really great example of why should someone trust you. And Crystal, such a good point. Crystal says, I think we discredit what we do. Ooh, Crystal. Y'all, drop some hearts on Crystal's post or drop some hearts in the comments if you agree with this. I think we discredit what we do and have done because our skills come naturally to us. Crystal, this is such a good point. So invaluable here because time and time again, I see entrepreneurs who say, why would I ever talk about that? Why would I ever teach that? Why would I ever charge for that? Because I figured out how to do it. That was easy for me. It's easy for everyone else. No, it ain't. It is not easy for everyone else. Y'all, I promise you, it is not easy for everyone else, right? So, and the last question to answer when you're coming up with content themes is why should someone follow you? So we talked about why should they trust you, the background, the credentials, the experience. Now, why should someone follow you? And this is where we get to the question of what value do you provide? I always like to think about it this way. I really want you to ask yourself, why should someone pay attention to me? Why should someone follow me? What am I going to do or create or share that matters for them? Now, this doesn't mean your content always has to be the best, beautiful, most perfect, most creative, most innovative content of all time. It just means you should always have that question going on in the back of your head, okay? So those are 5 questions you can use to start coming up with content themes. So let me give you some examples, and then I want to hear from you in the comments. So for me personally, my content themes, when I'm creating content on Instagram, it typically falls within these 4 buckets. Number 1, Instagram education, because I'm an Instagram marketer. That's what I teach. That's how I help people, right? Number 2, business education and inspiration, because I tend to talk about things bigger than just Instagram or bigger than marketing, right? Talk about business structure, talk about business vision, setting business goals, and then inspiration of what I'm learning, who I'm following, who you need to pay attention to, these other incredible creators that you need to be learning from because they're so good at what they do, sharing those people. Number 3, I share a lot of personal stories and personal anecdotes. I've talked about everything from my father's death in 2017 to being a migraine sufferer since I was the age of 4 and living with migraine. I've talked about navigating depression and anxiety. I've talked about working through grief. I've talked about my husband, Eric, and our love of travel. And I've talked about how I love shopping at Target. All of those things are true and honest, right? And I've shared all these bits and pieces of my life. And I've always done it from a place of trying to be the most healthy, complete version of myself and sharing it to help other people, right? And then my last content theme would be issues that I'm passionate about and that I care about. So sharing content, amplifying the voices of other people, talking about issues related to racial justice, toward LGBTQIA plus issues, talking about those issues that I really care about and that are some are super personal to me, right? So I talk about those issues. So those are my content themes. Let me give you some other examples. examples. You could have a maker or an artist or a, an Etsy shop owner. Your content themes could be something like behind the scenes, showing your work, finished work, so content that shows your finished work and talks about the process. Inspiration, so where do you as an artist, as a maker, as a creative gain inspiration? Are you inspired by nature? Are you inspired by math? Are you inspired by colors? Are you inspired by weather? Are you inspired by your childhood? What's the inspiration? And then artist statements, kind of talking about the things that you're creating that you want to share with the world. If you're a coach, you could create content that is around your subject matter expertise. So teaching people things, sharing content that's valuable related to what you do. You could share motivational content. You could share inspiration and quotes and things like that. You could also share personal stories of why you do what you do now, how you got here, how you became a coach, the process you went through. All really great content to share. If you're a designer, you could share stories of your process. You could share your finished work and show what you've done. You could share before and after. I love this. One of my favorite designers, my friend Tiffany over at Emma Rose. Let's see. Tiffany's Instagram account. I want you to go check her out. If my phone will cooperate. Is Emma Rose. Let's see. There it is. The Emma Rose Agency. Tiffany's a web designer, and she does incredible work. And one of the things I love that she does is she shows before and after of her clients' work. So she'll be like, before, parentheses, not me, and then after, this is what I did. And I always message her when she shares those. I'm like, oh my God, Tiffany, like jaw drop, got to pick my jaw up off the floor because the transformation is so incredible. You could share client testimonials, such a good one for designers. You could share education. You could share personal stories. So I want to hear from you in the comments right now. I would love to hear, what do you think your content themes are or your content themes could be? If you don't have them all figured out, that's okay. Don't feel like you have to tell me all of them right now. But as we've been talking about this and sharing these examples, what's coming up for you? What are you thinking about? And I want to give you one final tip if you're feeling stuck on this. I want you to think about these kind of 5 types of content. Now, again, this is important to say. These are not your content themes, okay? These are just content ideas, content concepts. So it could be education, it could be inspiration, it could be motivation. So I think of those as definitely inspiration and motivation are different for me. Inspiration is like, oh my goodness, that is inspiring. That's like, oh my gosh, I love to see that. That elicits kind of like an emotional response or feeling in me. I love that. Whereas motivation is like, okay, I see that and now I want to do it. Now I want it. Now I'm going to go after it. Now I feel like pushed or nudged or pulled to do it, right? Information. Do you want to share information with your community? And entertainment. That's another type of content you can create. And what's your kind of personal lens on entertainment? What's the emotional response you want to pull out of people, right? So let me know in the comments what you're thinking about your content themes. We're going to give away a Target gift card in just a moment. So go ahead and drop those in the comments. I see Heather here's first. Heather says products, inspiration, and personal stories. Heather, and knowing your business, Heather, I think this is a great thing that you could do. I think showcasing your products is really important. Heather has a home decor and furniture store in Canada. So Heather, like showcasing your products is important. And then inspiration, like what inspires you to source the products that you source or to have the things that you have and that you sell. And then personal stories. I love that, Heather. I think the personal stories is a great component for you. And I know about Heather and her business. She's part of Follower to Fan Society. So we've chatted before during coaching calls and things like that. So Heather, personal stories I think could be invaluable. And we just talked about this last week actually on our Q&A call. And I shared with Heather about getting herself in her feed a bit more, or showcasing the makers or the people behind the business, or family or people that are supporting her as she's running this business. I think that's all great content ideas. So y'all, this is good. I'm so excited about this. Behind the scenes, love that. Family, kids, husband, mommyhood, wine. This is great. So many good ideas there, Sarah. Patricia says health and fitness, education, designing, and entertaining. So good. Behind the scenes, process, nature, movement, and exercise. This is great, y'all. So I want you to keep thinking about these ideas. Oh, Catherine Ray is here. Hey, my friend. I'm glad you joined us. Keep thinking about these ideas and really remember that your content themes really want to be answering this question of like, What do I do? How do I help people? Why should people pay attention to me? Why should they follow me? And then bucket out my content in this way, okay? And also, Erica, we'd love to send you a Target gift card. So, Erica Barriga, I apologize if I'm mispronouncing your name, but Erica, we'd love to send you $5 to hit up Target. I don't know how many good artist supplies Target has. That craft section is always a bit disappointing. But Erica, if you'll send us a direct message here on this account with your email address, we'll send a Target gift card over your way. Or let us know if you're not in the US and we'll send you Amazon or Starbucks or something else. Okay. So that is content theming. Okay. This is kind of the first chunk of today's conversation. So I'm going to end that, and we're going to move on to the next piece of today, okay? And we're going to talk about where to look for inspiration. This is really answering that question of, but what if I don't feel creative? What do I do? And I want to give you some things. Now, these are not cures to creative doldrums. Does that make sense? Like, I'm not trying to cure your lack of creativity. I'm not trying to fix you if you don't feel creative right now, because I think a lot of times, let me therapize a little bit here, but I think a lot of times when we get into these kind of ruts or habits of like not feeling as creative, not feeling like we can come up with as much, like the thought of writing a caption on Instagram is like totally exhausting, right? When we get into those ruts, I think one of the worst things we can do for ourselves in those moments is put so much judgment on how we're not creative. Can I get an amen in the comments? Like, we're like, oh my gosh, I'm not creative. And because I'm not creative, or because I don't feel creative right now, everything's awful, terrible, evil. My business is going to fail. I'm going to lose followers. No one's ever going to buy my stuff again. I'm never going to be able to do what I want to do ever again. Right? We like get into those moments. And that's not good for anyone. Like, we don't want to feel like that. And also, how the heck are we supposed to dig ourselves out of that to get back to the place of being creative and innovative and doing the work we need to do online to connect with other people and build our community and grow our business, right? So these are not cures for a lack of creativity. These are things that you can do now or when the time is right for you, that you can give yourself kind of a tool belt. Give yourself a reserve of things that you can tap into when you need it. Does that make sense? So we're not having these spirals of, oh my goodness, I can't do it. I don't know what I'm going to do, right? So the goal here is to help you so you're never finding yourself stuck in a place without inspiration. And there's 3 things that you can do: story mining, identifying real life examples, and then maintaining an idea journal. So these are 3 things that I do that are game changers for me, and I want to share them with you. So number 1, story mining. This is just you getting stories out of your head and onto paper or onto a computer or into a device so that you can tap into them when you need to. And there's 4 types of stories that I want you to think about writing or creating. Here's what I want to tell you. These stories do not have to be fully fleshed out. They do not have to be well written. They do not have to be perfect. You don't even got to get your spelling and grammar right, okay? Just get them out of your head, right? These 4 stories. Number 1, your how I got here story. This is such a good story to tell because so many of us have these histories of like, this is what I did to get where I am right now in my business or in my life or with the thing that I do that I help other people with. Let me tell you the story as a way to let you know that like, it's possible. Let me tell you the story as a way to connect and share my own personal story and talk about how I got here. So this is a really valuable story to know and just to have and to always be workshopping. It's also important to have as a part of your like introductions. I'm a big fan of doing regular introductory posts in your Instagram feed. What I like to say is if I go to your Instagram account and I do a swipe and I can't see a picture of you and like learn who you are, then I may not follow you. Right? We always want to make our profile. We always want to think about, I'm not just creating content for people who are already following me. I'm creating content and I'm always optimizing my profile for people who may follow me. So that kind of content is good. Those introductory posts, this nice to meet you. This is who I am. This is what I do. Those types of posts. Story number 2 I want you to get out of your head is your production, behind the scenes, how it's made story. This is the, how the thing that you sell is actually created. Oh, I got a sticker on here with bad words, and we want to be able to use this for ads, so I need to turn my water bottle. Oops. So your how it's made story. This type of story is invaluable for artists, makers, creators, service-based business owners. So good. And then also, if you are a coach or consultant, if you're a course creator, a membership site owner, also always sharing behind the scenes snippets, bits and pieces, stories here and there. You could just got off a coaching call with your clients, talk about it on Instagram stories. You're creating a new workshop for your course, talk about it on Instagram stories. You just got off a monthly mastermind call in your membership community, talk about it in your Instagram feed. Talking about those things is really important. So come up with some of those behind the scenes stories. Number 3, client and customer stories, those success stories, those experience stories. And one of the key things here is I don't want you to minimize the success of your clients and customers. I think a lot of times as coaches, as membership site owners, as course creators, we always want to look for these big flashy transformations in our clients. And that's just so wrong because someone's transformation, like who are we to judge the size or success of someone's transformation? It's so silly, right? So don't do that. We have something in our business. We have a board in our project management system and a channel on Slack called All the Wins. And our community manager, like one of her core responsibilities is to screenshot all the wins from our community. And y'all, sometimes it's someone who said, I made, X amount on Instagram in the past week because I used the instant income blueprint and did a 7-day launch. And for someone else, it's saying, I finally went live for the first time. Or someone else said, I got my first 100 followers. Or someone else saying, I booked 3 new clients. Or someone else saying, I created a reel I'd really been wanting to and I finally created one. All of those successes in our eyes are equal. They're all examples of someone doing something that they hadn't done before and getting some kind of result or outcome. And you better believe that every single one of those are worth celebrating, okay? And then number 4, a story that you can get out of your head and onto paper is an important lesson I learned story. Y'all, if you're anything like me, you got plenty of important lessons you learned stories. So a mistake that you made, something that you said or did, or that you didn't say, or that you didn't do, and the lesson you learned from it. Maybe it was money you wasted. Maybe it was something you lost, right? That lesson that you learned. So the first assignment is to just get some of these stories out of your head and onto paper, or into a Google Doc. Or if you're like me, get them into the Notes app on your phone. I am a voracious Notes app user. I love Notes app. So get them into the Notes app on your phone. The next thing is to look for inspiration is to look for real life examples. And I'm going to share some with you, some places that you can look for content inspiration. Let me know in the comments how this is going for you so far, if this is helpful, if you're learning something, what your kind of favorite takeaway or little nugget has been so far. I want to hear from you in the comments because y'all stop talking to me for a minute. And I don't like that because then I feel like I'm lonely out here just talking to a robot. It's just me and Mark Zuckerberg, okay? So let me know in the comments. Or drop some loves, drop some hearts, some thumbs up or something like that. Okay. I'm needy. I'm like Tinkerbell. If you don't clap, I'll die. Just kidding. I'm not like that. Lady Gaga says she's like that. Okay, anyway. Let's look for some. Onisha says, we're taking notes. Okay, you're right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for disturbing you. Okay, so let's look for some real life examples of places where you can find content inspiration. You can look for content all around you, okay? Because content is happening all the time. So the first thing I want you to think about is viral or trending topics or posts. Things that you see kind of popping off, topics that people are talking about, that's content inspiration. So if there's a viral trend or something happening, you can jump in on that. A great example of this, I think, where this is working really well is on TikTok. A viral trend starts on TikTok, and then you see other creators replicating that trend or doing something similar to that trend, and then it becomes like a thing. that this is now a trend on TikTok. So I think this is a really great example. And we're starting to see this on Instagram now with the introduction of Reels. So what are some of those viral topics that are happening? Some important big topics that people are talking about that you can jump in on. Number 2, commercials. This is so key. Looking for inspiration in commercials. What are people saying in commercials? What are they talking about? What are some of the messages that are being shared out there? What are the lessons you can learn that you can then use for your own content, or that you can simply talk about in your business, right? So if you are a health coach, what are the commercials you're seeing out there about the concepts of health and wellness that you may not agree with? Products that you may think would be great or not be great. Can you talk about that? If you do something in the home space, what are commercials or content you're seeing out there about homes, about home decor, home design, building a home, whatever it may be, that you could then maybe use as inspiration for your content, or that you could say, I don't agree with that. I don't think that's good. Conversations you're having. Now, we're not saying here to verbatim, put conversations out on the internet as content. I don't think that's the best move. But are there things coming from conversations that you could use as inspiration for your content? Number 4, if you're a news watcher or a news reader, what's happening in the news? What are you hearing about right now? What content inspiration can you gain from that? And then number 5 are just observations around you as you're moving through life. So there's so many examples of this. There's so many types of content you can create. When you're in line checking out at Target, when you're in the drive-thru at Starbucks, when you are when you order delivery from DoorDash or Grubhub, when you are planning your first trip after COVID, when you're booking your vaccine appointment, right? Whatever the thing is, there are stories wrapped up in all of that. There's so many things that content you can create. There was an example a few years ago. Number 3 was conversations you're having in your business, with family, with friends, personal conversations, whatever it may be. I'll give you an example of this, and then we're going to move on. A really simple example is a few years ago, Eric and I had a service provider for our home. We had a cleaning service. They would come every 2 weeks. And they did something that I hate when businesses do, and that they increased their prices they didn't even increase their price. They started charging customers a service fee for paying with a credit card. So you could either have a credit card on file with the business, or you could pay with a check every time they came. And at the time we had a credit card on file, and they said, okay, that's fine, but we are going to add on the processing fee to the total amount of our service. Well, we stopped using them because I hate when businesses do that. And then it was a great piece of content I could create and saying, hey, this happened to me, and this is a valuable business lesson we can learn about pricing our products, right? About what we need to include in the price of our products. Instead of passing along a fee to the customer, we can better learn how to more effectively price our products, right? And that was just a real life experience that happened. So examples are all around you. The last thing I want you to do, this is super simple, but a game changer, is I want you to start keeping an idea journal for post ideas. I do it in the Notes app on my phone. I encourage you to do this somewhere that you can easily access, that you kind of always have with you, right? So maybe it's always a notebook you have on your nightstand. Maybe it's the Notes app on your phone. Maybe it's Evernote, if you're in Evernote, something like that. And in this place, I want you to just start a running list of post ideas, of story ideas, of caption ideas. For me, I have 2 main things that I do. The first is I have a Reels idea. So I have a Google or a note on my phone that's just Reels ideas. And I just it's literally like 1 sentence or just a few words. Sometimes I go back and read them. I'm like, what the heck was I talking about when I put this in here? I can't even figure it out myself. But I do Reels ideas. And then the other is caption ideas. Y'all, the amount of half-baked captions that are living in this tiny computer, who even knows, right? So I could go find them. But what I want you to do is just use this as a place to dump ideas when inspiration strikes. And what I really want you to focus on, instead of trying to always, and I think this is where we start to stumble a little bit, instead of trying to fully flesh out every single idea, I want you to focus on developing hooks. Hooks. What is the hook? What is the the bold statement? What is the thesis of the post? Kind of take us back to college days. What is the if you are oh, this is a good example. If you if you were like an attorney in a court of law, what would be your opening statement? Right? That's how I think of sometimes when I'm developing content. It's like, what is my opening statement? What is my opening argument about this? This is really important when you start developing content that's maybe kind of like poking and prodding at ideas or concepts or common things that people do in your industry or niche. So just focus on developing hooks. That's it. And then that will always be a constant source of content inspiration for you. All right? Okay, so 2 more things, and I'm going to get through these pretty quickly because I want to be respectful of your time. I want to talk about how to make the most out of the content you're already creating. So I would love to hear from you right now in the comments. Tell me, outside of Instagram, where else are you creating content? Let me know in the comments. If you have a blog, if you have a podcast, if you're on YouTube, if you are doing weekly emails, if you're doing live streams on Facebook or Instagram or Twitch or somewhere else, if you are writing content on Facebook, if you're doing LinkedIn posts, where else are you creating content? Because I will guarantee you, I will wager good money that you have a ton of content that you are not using and tapping into right now. You probably already have an incredible content library that you could start pulling from. Just last week, I was coaching a member of our community, the Follower to Fan Society, Sarah Soaps. She has a handmade soap and skincare business. She's doing incredible. She had an incredible holiday season. She's doing so much incredible work in her business. And I was talking with Sarah about creating content. And I went to Sarah's website. And she's been doing this for a long time. I think it was Sarah Soaps, right? Y'all, I am historically horrible with names. And I get so scared that I said the wrong name of someone. So now I'm scared that wait, was it not Sarah Soaps? I'm scared. You guys, I'm scared. Okay, well maybe we'll find it. Maybe Rachel, my Rachel, if you're watching, she asked a question in the Q&A call last week, so if maybe you could check the type form and let me know. Drop a link to this account in the comments. I want to make sure we are talking about the right person. Anyway, as Casey was saying, epic blog. Oh my goodness. For years, she has been blogging so much content about soaps, about skincare, about natural ingredients, about essential oils. And I was like, oh my goodness. Hello, every single piece of content you ever want to create on Instagram for like the next 5 years, you've already written. It's already done. You don't even have to recreate the wheel. And I would wager you have done the same thing through your Facebook post, on your blog, on your LinkedIn, on your podcast, on YouTube, in your newsletter. You've already done it. You don't need to recreate the wheel. So you're creating content anyway. So what I want you to start doing is chunking it and repurposing it. Super simple. Chunk it and repurpose it. Chunk it is just breaking it down into snackable little pieces, little bite-sized Instagram pieces. All right? Little Instagram content pieces. I want you to chunk it down and then repurpose it. Post it everywhere. A great example of this is blogging. And y'all, I don't know if there are any bloggers here. I recognize this is a huge missed opportunity for me in my business. Something that I want to fix because blogging is not dead. It is still incredibly valuable and huge opportunity for us to do this. But if you have a blog, if you have content that you've written, if you've ever done any kind of top 5 ways to, or broken something down in a step-by-step process, take that bad boy, chunk it down, and that's an Instagram post. That's an Instagram story. That's a series of Instagram posts in your feed, right? So for example, this creator inside of Follower to Fan Society, with her blog post, if she has a blog post about, 5 key Susan soaps. It's Susan soaps, not Sarah's. Oh my goodness. Susan, if you're watching this, I'm so sorry that I thought your name was Sarah. What is wrong with me? Great example. You should check out Susan's Instagram and also check out her website and her blog. So Susan has examples like, these blog posts about 5 ways to use lavender essential oil or something like that. That becomes 5 Instagram posts. A post about the 5 differences between natural and non-natural skincare products. That could become an Instagram story every day for a week. That could become a series of stories. And then guess what? That same content can become an Instagram feed post. And then guess what? That same content can become an Instagram live. Then that Instagram live becomes an IGTV. And then that same content could be a Facebook live discussing it. And then that same content could be an email newsletter, right? Same content used in multiple places. Here is the biggest thing I want you to get out of this chunking and repurposing strategy. The biggest mistake that you are making right now in repurposing your content is having content live on a platform and then trying to use all of your energy to drive your audience to that platform to consume that content. Let me say this again, because this is a huge mistake that content creators are making and business owners are making right now. You create content, you have it living over here on this platform, and you spend all of your time and energy and effort driving people to that platform to consume the content. So for example, in Susan's example, instead of having a blog and then spending all the time and energy on Instagram saying, go read my blog, go check out my blog, go see the content on my blog, bring the content to the people where they already are. Stop using all of your energy. We call this relational capital. We teach this inside of follower to fan. This concept of relational capital, saying that every time you ask your audience to take an action, you are tapping into relational capital that you have built with them. You build relational capital by sharing value, sharing stories, and connecting with people on an individual level. Every time you say, hey, go here, go do this, go tap on this, swipe up on this, go to this link, you are reaching into this bag of relational capital. You're pulling out, you're cashing it in to get them to take that action. And if you aren't consistently replenishing the bag of relational capital, your audience will stop doing it. They will stop paying attention. And what is way more dangerous to you as an entrepreneur, as a content creator, and as a business owner than people not engaging with you in the way you expect, or people maybe kind of like falling off a little bit, what's way more dangerous is people ignoring you entirely. It's much riskier for you as an entrepreneur to have an audience of 100,000 people where no one pays attention to you than an audience of 1,000 people where at least half those people are hanging on to your every word. So instead of using all your effort and energy to send people to the content you're creating, bring the content to the people where they already are. All right? Capiche? The reason this is important, and someone mentioned this earlier, is because this gets you into the habit of repeating yourself. And repeating yourself is vital for effective marketing, effective messaging, and selling your stuff. If you want to sell more of your things, repeat yourself more often. People need to hear things so many times before they make a move, before they buy, before they enroll, before they sign up, whatever it may be. They may have not heard it the first time. They may have not heard it the right way the first time. They may have not understood it the first time. They may have entirely missed it the first time. So repeat yourself. Repeating yourself is vital. It builds your credibility. It establishes your authority because you are saying these things. You're saying the same things. It helps your audience place you. This is really important. It helps your audience place you in their mind. This is called positioning. If you've ever wanted to better understand the concept of positioning, you are simply getting your audience to understand where you exist in the marketplace. That is what positioning is, simply put. So repeating yourself helps with your positioning because your audience can better understand where you are and they can place you in the marketplace. And it streamlines your content and your messaging. Instead of always trying to be the most creative human being ever and come up with all the new concepts all the time, you can simply say the same things over and over again. How easy is that? How easy is that? Okay, for those of you that stuck around to the end, you are the real MVP. So I want to give you my top secret content repurposing tip. Now, y'all, this is one of those like, oh my gosh, why didn't I think of this things things, and you may already be doing it. And if so, you are so smart. I'm glad we're on the same wavelength. I'm glad we're connected psychically around this tip. Let me know in the comments so far what you're thinking so far, what your biggest takeaway has been from today, or go ahead and drop some, goodness gracious, the country hops out when I get to talking too quickly. Drop some hearts and some thumbs up on this video so I know that it's bringing you the value that you had hoped for and that you're learning something valuable today. So here's the top secret tip. I want you to use this tip because you've already created amazing content. You've already done it. So why do you have to do it again? So as I said earlier, bring the content to the people. Bring the content to them instead of always trying to force them to go to the content. You don't always have to create something new. This tip is simple, and I call it the screenshot and repost. So simple, okay? Whenever you find yourself in those moments when you don't know what the heck you're going to post, when you're trying to come up with a new concept or a new topic to talk about, but I need to post. It's been a few days. It's been a week. I need to get something in my feed right now, or I just want to post. I want to get something out there. You're going to do this. You're going to go to your profile. You're going to go to your insights. You're going to sort your post by likes or engagement. You're going to find a post that has already performed well. Typically, you want to look for a post that's older than maybe a few months. Like we're looking for posts that are maybe like 90 days or older. Something you posted a few months ago that performed well. Is it still relevant? Is it still correct? Is it still true? Is it still in line with your brand, with where you're going and what you're doing? Perfect. All you're going to do is screenshot the post. This only works with like photos and graphics, right? Screenshot the post. Tap on the 3 little dots on that post in the upper right-hand corner and click on Edit. The reason we're going to edit it is because we're just going to copy the caption as it's already written. We're not even going to rewrite the freaking caption. We're going to copy the caption. Select it all, copy. Then we're going to click on those 3 little dots again. We are going to archive the post, not delete it. We just want to archive it. Then we're going to post something on Instagram, a new post that is simply the screenshot of what we posted before and the pasted caption that we had already written. That, my friends, is the top secret content repurposing tip that no one's talking about, but that we are all doing. Because coming up with content all the time can kind of be sucky. So use that tip and take your content to your people. All right? Let me give you a few next steps because we got some fun stuff happening here. First thing is, and let me just do a quick little check. What was your takeaway? What did you learn? What did you love? What did you get from today? Answering your question, Sarah. Archiving just simply removes the post from your feed, but still makes it available so you can see the insights on the post. Whereas if you were to delete the post, it would just be gone forever, including any insights on the post. So it just moves the post from your publicly visible feed into a privately viewable archive. All right? Okay. So a few next steps for you all. The first thing is if you are just joining me, this is your first time watching, welcome, hello, so glad that you're here. Or if you've been here and you've missed any of the past live videos that we've done, I've been going live every Tuesday at 2 for the past month or so. You can check those all out right here on Facebook. All you're going to do is navigate to my Facebook page, tap on videos, and then you'll look for the weekly marketing training series playlist. So that's right here on Facebook. We have a number of videos I've done so far, so definitely check those out. Number 2, I want to invite you to get on the waitlist for the Follower to Fan Academy. This is our new Instagram marketing course that's launching on May 10th. And if you want to join us, if you want to learn more of our Instagram marketing strategy, and you want to learn how to generate more leads and sales from your Instagram account, go to followertofan.com right now. That's followertofan.com right now. You will see our waitlist there. Go ahead and just give us your name and email address, and we will let you know as soon as the doors to the Academy open on May 10th. Also on May 10th, we'll be celebrating the opening of the doors of the Academy with a free Instagram masterclass training. So go ahead and hop on that wait list. We'll send you all the details about the free Instagram masterclass. It's going to be a live class happening on May 10th. We'll have 3 times available that day, morning, afternoon, and evening, so you can catch the one that works best for you. And of course, that'll get you on the wait list, and we'll let you know when the doors to the Academy open. Next up, listen to the Online Business Show podcast. Y'all, this is my baby. I love her. I put so much work into this podcast. I would love for you to check it out. OnlineBusinessShow.co is where the podcast lives online. We're also on all major streaming platforms: Apple Podcast, Google, Spotify, all the Android casting services. I think we're out there on pretty much everything. Just search for the Online Business Show, and then onlinebusinessshow.co is where you'll find the podcast online. We also do really in-depth show notes. We have full transcripts of every episode, so you can check that out there. I'm currently wrapping up the Marketing Success Series, which has been a 6-part series talking all about marketing strategy. We have some really exciting episodes coming up in the next few weeks as well. And then lastly, I want to invite you to join me next week back here on Facebook Live, 2 p.m. Eastern, next Tuesday. Next week, we're going to be talking about when to use each of Instagram's 6 key features. So between the feed, stories, live, IGTV, Reels, and direct messages, I'm going to be breaking down each one and talking about when to use each one as a part of your strategy. And I'm also going to share some tips to, again, strip away this overwhelm and the frustration with having to do all the things and be in all the places on Instagram. I'm going to be sharing really only the 3 places that you need to focus on right now on Instagram, and then talk about when to know if it's time to add in the other parts of Instagram to your strategy. So that's all happening back here on Facebook next week at 2 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday. This is always way more fun with friends, so invite your friends to join us. You can post on Instagram right now that you're tuned in. You can post a little picture, a little boomerang. I'll pose for you. Or just post on Insta stories that you're listening, that you're hanging out with me, and tag me at Tyler J. McCall. I'd love to hear from you. And invite your friends to come hang out with us next week. We'll be talking about when to use each of Instagram's 6 key platforms, features. Platforms? It's kind of like platforms within a platform. Also why I love Instagram, because it's kind of all in one. Okay, y'all, thanks for being here. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next Tuesday. Bye, everyone.